In this video, you'll learn the #1 way to hook people with your intros so your songs don't end up in the 1/4 of all songs played on Spotify that are skipped within their first 5 seconds.
Always hating, always complaining. Switch attitude, get down with the beat, not the drama. Always hating, always complaining. Switch attitude.
Hello, revolutionaries! I'm Ray Harmony, this is Ray Harmony, and welcome to the Hack Music Theory Show, where you are empowered with notation-free theory for making great music.
And if you're new to our channel, just a heads up, the hacks that you're about to witness are at an intermediate level, so if you need help with the basics, no problem, we got you covered. Just read our free book, 12 Music Theory Hacks, Learn Skills and Chords, which you can download at revolutionharmony.com. Alright, so what you see on the screen right now is the vocal melody from the intro of our upcoming single, Down With The Drama. We're in the key of F sharp minor, and also please note that these dark MIDI notes over here are muted. We'll talk about those later.
And if you missed any videos from the previous sections of this song, then check out the playlist in the description below. Alright, let's jump in.
But fast. 2.
Hack 1. Save the chorus. As we spoke about in our last video, a great intro gives away just enough hooky musical content to pull your listeners in, but no more than that. This allows you to hold back the vast majority of content, which you can then drip out through the rest of your song to ensure your listeners are hooked till the very last note. It's worth noting here that this approach is actually relatively new. In the old music industry,
where people bought music,
there was no need to make a hooky intro, as listeners would usually wait until the chorus before deciding whether to buy the song. This allowed us to be way more creative with our intros. However, in the new music industry,
where people stream music and literally have tens of millions of songs in the palm of their hand,
listeners are arriving at their verdict within seconds, instead of waiting to hear the chorus.
This puts us under enormous pressure to make our intros ultra mega hooky in order to avoid that dreaded skip button or the swipe.
Sadly though, this leads far too many songwriters and producers to give away their choruses in their intros. But as a result of this colossal compromise, listeners get bored halfway through these songs, as not enough content was held back to maintain their attention till the end. It's important to remember here that every song is different, and therefore requires a different structure. So, while using a stripped down version of your chorus for an intro may work for some of your songs, it will definitely not be the right structure for most of your songs.
And yes, there is a way to have your chorus unedited. All you need to do is write a new section specifically for your intro, which is super hooky too. This gives your streaming listeners what they demand while also allowing you to save the chorus for later in your song. And by the way, quick question for you. Do you struggle to finish your music?
If you answered yes, then why not take our cutting edge online apprenticeship course, where you'll learn how to make new sections for existing sections, how to transition between sections in different keys, and most importantly, how to complete your songs.
If that sounds useful to you, then head on over to revolutionharmony.com.
Hack 2. Harmonize the shadow.
Millions of years of evolution has hardwired us to instantly connect with the human voice, so the #1 way to hook your listeners with your intro is vocals. So start by writing a short melodic phrase using just a few notes. We're using the 2, the 1, and the flat 3. Also, be sure to use syncopation, which is the accenting of an offbeat. We're using a 16th note syncopation to start, and then we're following that with an 8th note syncopation. Super groovy. Check this out.
Always hating.
Now copy and paste your phrase into bar 2, and for variation, move it left or right on your grid to start on a different beat. So you can see we're supposed to be starting on the 1 but we're actually starting a quarter note earlier. Then copy and paste your 2 phrases into bars 3 and 4 and mute them. So the first 2 phrases are your lead melody, and the second 2 phrases are its shadow. So this shadow melody is going to be sung in your backing vocals, and your lead melody is going to harmonize it. But But remember, shadows are slightly distorted, so be sure to make a little change to your shadow for variation. Our little change was adding more syncopation to our shadow by singing the last note in both phrases a 16th early. Far too many intros use far too much repetition in a desperate attempt to hook people, so this hack allows you to use the repetition needed to hook people, but by passing that repetition over to your backing vocals, it also allows your lead vocals to sing something new so your listeners don't get bored. Finally, connect the two halves of your lead melody by adding a few notes in between, and you're done. And just before the final playthrough, if you need help with harmonizing and writing backing melodies, then we suggest our video, Hack Counterpoint and Write Unique Vocal Harmonies.
So keep on watching because that's going to pop up on your screen right after the playthrough. And if you like our hacks, then please subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications. Also, we love hearing from you, so come say hello in the comments below.
Thanks for joining the Hack Music Theory Revolution. We'll see you next week.
Always hating, always complaining. Switch attitude.